Have you ever wondered why in some parts of the world people live past 100 with energy, joy, and independence, while in other countries many are already battling chronic illnesses and loss of vitality by the time they hit 60? In the United States, nearly 80% of adults over 65 live with at least one chronic condition, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart problems. According to the CDC, that means a large portion of the population spends their final years juggling medications and limitations. Now imagine life in Okinawa, a small region of Japan known around the world as the land of the immortals. There, it's common to find men and women well into their 90s and even past 100 walking around, tending to their gardens, playing with their grandkids, and cooking their own meals. And it's not just about luck or good genes. There's one specific habit, simple yet powerful, that has become a signature of Japanese life, and it could change the way you feel every day. It's a secret that keeps the mind sharp, the body active, and health intact well into your 80s or 90s. Before I reveal it, I want to ask you, how do you want to grow old? Relying on others for everything, or still strong enough to take care of yourself, cook your favorite meals, hang out with friends, and hold your grandkids in your arms? There's a simple trick found in almost every Japanese household that can transform how you feel throughout the day, boost your vitality, and even protect your body against diseases that seem inevitable with age. And the best part, you can start using this secret today. No need to fly to the other side of the world. Before I reveal this powerful habit, drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from. And if you want to keep discovering simple, natural ways to age with more health and independence, make sure to subscribe to the Age with Strength channel so you don't miss our next videos. And of course, a quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes and does not replace medical advice or a consultation with a nutritionist. Always talk to your doctor before making changes to your diet or health routine. When we look at Okinawa and other parts of Japan, the first thing that stands out is the contrast compared to what's happening in the United States, while here we see rising rates of obesity, hypertension, and heart disease. There we find entire communities aging with surprising health. It's not just about living longer, it's about living with quality, autonomy, and vitality. American researchers, including those from Johns Hopkins University, have spent decades studying these populations to understand how they maintain such vitality into old age. What they found is fascinating. There's no miracle formula or hidden pill. The secret lies in lifestyle's small daily choices that, when added up over the years, create a real shield against disease. In Okinawa, for example, it's common to see people over 80 riding bikes to the market, growing their own vegetables, or taking part in community gatherings almost every day. Many still garden, take care of their grandchildren, and follow routines that demand constant movement. Very different from what we see in many American households, where aging is often associated with medication, physical limitations, and social isolation. Their old age is a time of productivity and joy. But don't think this is due to luxurious living conditions or expensive technology. In fact, Japan has also gone through tough economic times, especially after the war. Even so, people remained active and healthy thanks to simple habits passed down from a culture that values balance, nature, and daily discipline. Among all these customs, there's one in particular that scientists call the pillar of Japanese longevity. It's found in almost every home, doesn't require major investments, and can be easily incorporated into anyone's routine event in the United States. It's such a powerful habit that it's been the subject of dozens of medical studies, proving its ability to protect the heart, the mind, and even cells from premature aging. But before I tell you what this simple and transformative trick is, it's important to understand that it doesn't work in isolation. It's part of a life philosophy where health is nurtured daily in a natural and enjoyable way. That's what sets the Japanese apart. They don't wait for illness to show up. Before seeking a cure, they create fertile ground for health to flourish and stay strong, even as the decades pass. Now that you understand the bigger picture, let's dive into the secret that quietly powers the energy and vitality of the Japanese, well into their 100s. Among all the habits that sustain Japanese vitality, one stands out as a true pillar of longevity: the daily consumption of green tea. In Japan, this beverage isn't just a dietary choice, it's part of the cultural identity. From sencha, the most popular variety, to matcha, the vibrant green powder used in traditional ceremonies. Green tea is present at every stage of life, from youth to old age. It's not a passing trend or an expensive supplement that comes and goes. Green tea has been grown and consumed for centuries, and its reputation comes not just from tradition, but from science. Studies reviewed by the National Institutes of Health and published in journals like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that drinking green tea regularly can lower the risk of cardiovascular disease, improve brain function, regulate blood sugar, and even protect against certain types of cancer. It's like every cup contains a natural cocktail of cellular protection. The secret lies in compounds called catechinsis, specially epiglycocatechin-galactic, EGCG. That name might sound complex, but its effect is simple. It acts as a shield against damage caused by free radicals, which accelerate aging and trigger silent inflammation. Imagine your bloodstream as a river that needs to flow freely. Catechins help keep that river clean, preventing plaque buildup and protecting your heart. Here is the translated text. Keeping the paragraph structure and natural flow intact, but green tea doesn't just benefit the body, it's also known for its effects on the mind. People who drink green tea regularly report feeling more clear-headed, focused, and calm. That's no coincidence. In addition to moderate amounts of caffeine, green tea contains an amino acid called L-theanine. This compound promotes relaxation without drowsiness, helping maintain a balance between energy and calm. That's why Buddhist monks have been using green tea for centuries during meditation. In Okinawa, it's not unusual to see people in their 90s or even 100s starting the day with a cup of green tea, not because they need a strong jolt like coffee gives, but because they know this gentle beverage sustains energy throughout the day. It's a ritual of care, a quiet moment that nourishes both body and soul. And the most fascinating part, this habit can be easily adopted anywhere in the world. In the US, supermarkets and health food stores already offer a wide variety of green teas, affordable and ready to become part of the routine for anyone looking to live longer and better. Looking at the Japanese, we realize it's not just about drinking tea, it's about turning the cup into a symbol of preventive health. Each sip is a reminder that small, consistent choices can sustain vitality for decades. In the US, coffee is practically a cultural symbol. For many, the day doesn't start until that first cup. It wakes you up, gives you a boost, and feels essential for facing the daily grind. But along with that energy surge comes a familiar downside: heart palpitations, anxiety, acid reflux, and, a few hours later, the crash. That sharp drop in energy leaves the body drained and the mind foggy. This caffeine high and crash cycle can be especially taxing for people over 60, as the body becomes more sensitive and sleep more fragile. Japanese green tea works differently. It does contain caffeine, but in moderate amounts. What makes it unique is that this caffeine never comes alone. It's always paired with L-theanine, a natural amino acid that acts directly on the brain. This combination delivers something: rare mental clarity and physical energy, but without the jitters. It's like green tea is a conductor, orchestrating your energy smoothly, while coffee is more like a drum, loud and intense. Researchers from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health highlight that this balance helps maintain concentration for longer and reduces mental fatigue. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that participants who drank green tea performed better on cognitive tasks and felt less mental exhaustion than those who consumed caffeine alone. Think of it this way: coffee is like a rocket that blasts off with force, but soon loses steam and crashes. Green tea, on the other hand, is like a steady train, moving at a consistent pace without sudden drops, carrying you smoothly to your destination. For those seeking vitality after 60, that difference is crucial. Gentle, sustained energy means being able to walk, exercise, cook, and enjoy the day without needing several cups or suffering from side effects. Another key point: green tea also supports better sleep quality. While too much coffee can disrupt your night, the mild caffeine and L-theanine combo in green tea promotes relaxation as the day winds down. That's why the Japanese can drink green tea until mid-afternoon without affecting their sleep. This creates a virtuous cycle: more energy, during the day and restorative sleep at night, two essential pillars of longevity. By swapping some of your coffee for green tea, many people report a different kind of mental clarity, steadier kind of energy that doesn't spike and crash but holds firm, allowing you to enjoy life with more balance. That's the real magic of this ancient drink. Among the most fascinating secrets of Japanese longevity is a dietary practice called hara hachi bu. This expression, common in Okinawa, literally means eat until you're 80% full. At first glance, it might seem too simple to explain decades of health and energy, but in truth, this habit has a profound impact on both body and mind. In the US, we often associate a complete meal with the idea of eating until you can't take another bite. At family gatherings, holidays, or even during regular meals, many people finish eating feeling heavy, sleepy, or even guilty. This kind of overeating overwhelms the digestive system, triggers inflammation, and increases the risk of obesity, high blood pressure, and diabetes, conditions that affect millions of Americans over 60. Hara hachi bu teaches the opposite. Stop before you're completely full. It's about trusting your body to signal when it's had enough, even if your mind wants more. That space between almost full and stuffed is where health thrives, and the research backs it up. Studies from the Mayo Clinic and the National Institute on Aging show that eating fewer calories without nutritional deficiencies reduces inflammation markers, improves blood sugar control, and may even extend life expectancy. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine your body is like a car. If you pump in more fuel than the tank can hold, it spills over and gets wasted. But if you fill it just right, the engine runs efficiently for much longer. The human body works the same way. Eating just enough keeps your metabolism steady and prevents early wear and tear. In Okinawa, this practice is reflected in the numbers. The local population has significantly lower rates of obesity and heart disease than Western countries. Their centenarians don't follow trendy diets or complicated food rules. They simply stop eating before they feel full. That small daily gesture becomes a powerful force for longevity. So how can we apply this here in the US? Small changes can make a big difference. Use smaller plates, chew more slowly, take pauses during meals, and pay attention to your body's signals. Another tip is to avoid distractions like TV or your phone while eating. That makes it easier to notice when you've had enough. This habit not only protects against disease, but also gives you more energy throughout the day. After all, who hasn't felt that heavy drowsiness after overeating? Hara hachi bu prevents that, keeping your body light and ready to walk, exercise, or simply enjoy time with family. It's yet more proof that longevity doesn't come from drastic overhauls, but from small, consistent choices made over time. Another fundamental pillar of the Japanese diet, often overlooked in the Westies, the regular consumption of fermented foods. Miso, natto, artisanal soy sauce, and pickled vegetables called tsukemono are daily staples on Japanese tables. These foods not only add flavor, but also nourish the body in ways that modern science continues to confirm. They are powerful allies for gut health and, by extension, overall health. In the United States, the gut is often treated as just part of digestion, but studies from Johns Hopkins Medicine show the gut is much more than that. It's actually a second brain, closely linked to the immune system, mood, and even mental clarity. Maintaining a healthy gut microbiome is key to reducing inflammation, managing weight, strengthening immunity, and even lowering the risk of depression and cognitive decline. That's where fermented foods come in. They're rich in probiotics, those good bacteria that keep the gut microbiota balanced. When your gut is in harmony, your whole body functions better. Smoother digestion, more efficient nutrient absorption, stable energy, and stronger defenses against disease. It's no coincidence that the Japanese, who consume fermented foods from a young age, show much lower rates of digestive issues and inflammatory diseases compared to the West. But is it possible to apply this habit to daily life in America? The good news is, yes. While natto and miso may not yet be household staples everywhere, there are accessible alternatives available. Plain yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and even good quality pickles, without excessive preservatives, can offer similar benefits. Adding just one portion of these foods to your daily meals is like strengthening the internal army that protects your body. Think of your gut as a garden. Feed it with fiber and probiotics, and beneficial bacteria will flourish, crowding out the harmful ones. But if the soil is neglected, weeds, bad bacteria take over, weakening your entire system. The Japanese tend to this garden every day, and the result is a more resilient, energized body, even into old age. It's another simple lesson we can take to heart. You don't need to spend a fortune on supplements or medications to boost immunity. Often, the answer lies in traditional, affordable foods that folk wisdom valued long before modern science caught up. When we picture a Japanese meal, we often imagine fresh fish, colorful vegetables, and dishes prepared simply but packed with nutrition. That's one of the biggest differences between the Japanese diet and the typical American diet. While in the US, red meat, fried foods, and ultra-processed snacks are staples, Japanese meals are usually balanced, light, and made with ingredients that genuinely nourish the body. Fish is a star player in this diet. Rich in omega-3 fatty acids, it supports heart health, reduces inflammation, and promotes brain function. Studies by the National Institutes of Health show that regular consumption of fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel is linked to lower rates of cardiovascular disease and cognitive decline. In Okinawa, it's not uncommon to see elderly people with sharp memories and preserved mobility. And part of that comes from a fish-rich diet. But fish isn't the only key to this vitality. Vegetables also play an equally important role. Japanese meals typically include a wide variety of veggies, prepared simply steamed, lightly sautéed, or served raw in salads. They provide fiber, vitamins, and minerals that help regulate digestion, control blood sugar, and protect the body from cellular aging. Unlike the average American plate, which is often dominated by refined carbs and meat, the Japanese plate is colorful, diverse, and balanced. Another interesting point is seasonality. The Japanese value seasonal, locally grown foods. This means more freshness, more nutrients, and fewer artificial additives. In the US, this can be applied by choosing seasonal produce at farmers markets, or even growing a small backyard garden. It's a return to basics that benefits both health and flavor. The contrast is clear. While many Americans eat vegetables infrequently and in small portions, in Japan, vegetables take center stage. This difference in foundational food choices helps explain why Japan has one of the lowest obesity rates in the world, while in the US, nearly 42% of adults are obese, according to the CDC. Incorporating more fish and fresh vegetables into your diet doesn't require radical change. It could start by simply swapping out one red meat meal per week for grilled fish with steamed or sautéed veggies. Small, consistent swaps over time build a solid foundation for more energy, fewer illnesses, and a longer, more active life. One of the greatest lessons Japanese culture offers lies in the simplicity of its meals. While in the West, we often chase after extravagant dishes loaded with sauces, fatty meats, and massive portions, the Japanese prefer balanced, light meals served in small quantities. This simplicity doesn't mean lack of flavor or enjoyment. It reflects a different relationship with food. It's seen as fuel to live well, not as something to overindulge in or hoard. Traditionally, a Japanese meal includes rice, fish, or another light protein, a variety of vegetables, miso soup, and small portions of fermented pickles. Each item is served in separate dishes, in small portions, allowing the palate to experience a variety of flavors and textures without overwhelming the stomach. This contrasts sharply with the typical Western plate, often dominated by a single, large item like a big piece of meat paired with potatoes or pasta. Researchers at the Harvard School of Public Health emphasize that this variety in small portions helps maintain nutritional balance by delivering different vitamins, minerals, and fibers in every meal. In addition, by eating slowly and savoring each flavor, satiety is reached before overeating. This ties directly into the principle of hara hachi stopping before you're completely full. Another interesting point is that the Japanese consume far fewer ultra-processed foods than Americans. Instead of packaged products loaded with sodium, sugar, and preservatives, their diet is based on fresh ingredients prepared at home. Even in big cities, it's common for families to cook simple meals daily instead of relying on fast food. This seemingly small habit dramatically reduces exposure to substances that accelerate aging and increase the risk of chronic diseases. This simplicity is also practical. Instead of spending hours preparing heavy meals, a Japanese meal often comes together with basic ingredients: brown rice, sautéed vegetables, grilled fish, miso soup, quick, nutritious, and balanced. It's a way of showing that taking care of your health doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. It's about conscious choices repeated over time. And the most beautiful part is that this simple and balanced relationship with food translates into quality of life. Instead of feeling sluggish and sleepy after eating, the Japanese leave the table ready to continue their day walking, gardening, socializing. That lightness is, without a doubt, one of the secrets that keeps them so active even in old age. Another essential aspect of Japanese vitality isn't just in diet, it's in how the body is kept moving every day. While in the West we often associate exercise with long hours at the gym, intense workouts, or structured programs, in Japan the concept is simpler and more natural. Move as part of your routine, without overdoing it, but with consistency. In Okinawa, for example, it's common to see people in their 80s or 90s walking to the market, tending to their gardens, sweeping their homes, or doing light yard work. These movements may seem small, but they add up and keep muscles, joints, and the heart active. This kind of regular light activity is called incidental physical activity, and science has shown it has a profound impact on longevity. Studies published by the National Institute on Aging show that even short daily walks help reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, strengthen bones, and improve cognitive function. You don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. The secret is consistency. 5, 10, 15 minutes of movement several times a day can help keep the body youthful for much longer. In the US, sedentary lifestyles are one of the biggest health threats after age 60. Many people spend hours in front of the TV, in the car, or seated often, unaware that lack of movement speeds up muscle loss, increases the risk of falls, and weakens the heart. The Japanese example shows that this can be reversed with simple actions. Take the stairs instead of the elevator, walk the dog, stretch in the morning, garden, or even dance. Think of the human body as a machine that needs to be oiled. If it stays idle too long, the gears rust and movement becomes harder. But when we use the machine regularly, it stays agile, ready, and reliable. That's exactly what we see in the Japanese lifestyle movement as a natural part of the day, not a burdensome obligation. This approach also brings another benefit. Physical activity becomes enjoyable. It's not a difficult task that demands extra motivation, but a moment of connection with nature, with family, or with oneself. And that joy is what makes the habit sustainable, even in later years. After all, it's easier to keep the body active when movement is part of your lifestyle rather than an added chore. If there's one aspect that deeply distinguishes the lives of long-lived Japanese elders from many older adults in the US, it's the value placed on community and having a purpose. It's not enough to care for the body through good food and movement. For them, the mind and spirit also need daily nourishment. In Okinawa, there's a concept called ikigai, which can be translated as reason for being. For each person, ikigai is different. It might be caring for family, tending the garden, teaching the younger generation, or playing an active role in the community. What matters is having a clear motivation that makes you get out of bed each morning with joy and determination, and science backs this up. Researchers from the National Institutes of Health found that people with a strong sense of purpose have lower risks of depression, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. But purpose doesn't stand alone. It's tied to community life. In Japan, it's common to see groups of seniors gathering to sing, dance, cook together, or simply chat. This social support network is an invisible but powerful source of health. Social isolations, so common in the US, especially after 65, increases the risk of physical and mental illnesses. Meanwhile, regular social interaction boosts immunity, improves mood, and even aids in recovery from illness. Think of the human being as a tree. Food and movement are the roots that provide strength, but community and purpose are like sunlight. Without them, the tree might survive, but it will never fully bloom. The Japanese understand this and cultivate these connections to the end of life, staying active within their families and communities, and you don't have to live in Japan to embrace this lesson. Right here in the US, it's possible to rekindle that connection. Simple actions like calling a friend, inviting neighbors for coffee, or sharing a family meal can bring back meaning and energy to daily life. This combination purpose and community is what completes the circle of Japanese longevity. It's not just about how many years we live, but how we live each of them. And it's this very mindset that keeps so many people active, smiling, and fulfilled well into their 100s. Did you know that there are hundreds of natural solutions, proven, safe, and within your reach, to relieve pain, regulate blood pressure, improve sleep and digestion, and even support diabetes management in a complementary way? If you're looking for a more natural, smarter, and more effective path to take care of your health, then you need to discover the Natural Healing Guide. This complete ebook brings together the very best of natural medicine: herbs, essential oils, supplements, home remedies for blood pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, pain, skin issues, and much more. And the best part, all with clear, safe, and practical guidance, even for beginners. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. Don't miss it. Looking at the Japanese lifestyle, we realize that longevity isn't a matter of luck. It's the result of small, intentional choices made every day. Green tea that warms and protects the practice of eating until 80% full. The consumption of fresh and fermented foods, the simplicity of meals, daily movement, community life, and purpose, all of these form a harmonious system that supports vitality well into the 100s. The good news is, you don't have to live in Okinawa to apply these lessons. Even living in the United States, it's possible to adapt these habits to your own routine, one step at a time. Start with small changes. Swap 1 cup of coffee for green tea, add more vegetables to your meals, take a few minutes to walk each day, call a friend, or find a purpose that gives meaning to your life. These are simple actions, but they can transform your health for decades to come. Aging doesn't have to mean fragility or dependence. You can choose to grow older with energy, mental clarity, and independence, just like many Japanese elders already prove is possible. The future of your health is being built right now with every decision you make. And I want to hear from you. Which of these Japanese habits do you think would be easiest to start adding to your life? Would it be green tea, smaller portions, fermented foods, or maybe walking every day? Leave your answer in the comments. Your experience could inspire others who are also looking to age with more strength and vitality.